Okay, so today I'm going to do a quick demo of the 3D user interface builder in the MetaBot. First up, I uploaded an STL file. I created an OpenSCAD, then I created a control, and I skipped right over the HTML5 tab, went straight to the 3D tab. So here we've added from the 3JS library, we've added the simple shape control. We've specified it should be a manila color. We specified the asset name, um, and we're going to give it some reasonable proportions and orientation. So name that shape folder. We're going to create another one called paper, which is just going to be a simple little rectangular sheet of paper that fits in our folder. And that's basically the, you know, folder icon, if you will. Traditional folder icon has a label, a text label below it. We're going to add one of those. We'll make it white so it stands out, and we'll give it, again, some reasonable dimensions, orientation, and positioning. And what do you know? We've got a folder icon, right? So we'll go ahead and save that. Now, if we want to add that into a 3D user interface, we're going to have to add some additional pieces. Basically, we're going to need to have the viewer that we add this object into. So I'm going to create a display object here. As you can see, there's nothing in the preview. It's a blank canvas here. So I'm going to create a div to throw our viewer in. We're going to specify some CSS to make it full screen and black background. And here we're going to, when the control is ready, we're going to install the viewer. When the viewer is ready, we're going to grab the scene and the camera, position the camera, do some stuff, and then we'll add in our new model control into the page. So when we view it, refresh the page, we should have just a simple folder icon, right? All right, let's go back to our editor here. And let's start doing some fun animation type stuff. So we're going to create a default pose. This is like the pose when nothing has changed. So we can always go back to it real quick. And we're going to deconstruct our folder here. We're going to set some parameters, positioning, rotation parameters, so that it looks like our folder has gone completely curved fluid. We'll call that pose XXX. We'll rotate the text around 360 degrees so that we can create sort of this continuous motion effect. So here we're going to create an animation with 4 steps based on those 3 poses. We'll start out at step 0, or step 1 in 0 milliseconds. So we'll reset to the default position immediately. We'll take a second to move to the XXX position. We'll move to triple Y in 0 milliseconds, and then back to default, right? So we got a quick explosion. Here we're going to add a click behavior, right? Click behavior has an event object that gets passed into it, so we'll go ahead and set that up. We're going to write this in Flow. You can, of course, write all of these things in JavaScript, and they're interchangeable. You can call a Flow behavior from JavaScript. You can call a JavaScript behavior from Flow. They all get attached to the me object, which is basically this for controls. It's this control. We also have an uppercase me, which is the div that it lives in. Here we're going to call the set motion function on the me object and pass in the explode variable, right? Go ahead and save that, pull up our object in the display, click on it, and boom, it explodes, right? So that's basically animation with the pose editor in a nutshell. Of course, you can add much more complex shapes, right, than STLs or whatever. Here's a GLTF that I created with Make Human. We're going to just move it out of the way here so it's next to our folder. And, you know, that's enough for one day. Let's take a bow.